to the markets and the one and only Claman Countdown floor show with all the breaking news. We've got a perfect person here. Franklin Templeton, Chief Market Strategist, Stephen Dover with $1.7 trillion in assets under management. Let's get to this breaking news. What does it change about how you felt when you woke up this morning?
So we've argued broad market now last year and this year, and we've argued buy and pullback. So this is yet another case. We talk about the taco trade. The taco trade circular, if everybody believes it, the market doesn't go down, then it doesn't discipline Trump. So I was trying to think of a new acronym. Trump always causes oscillation, volatility, opportunity.
Okay.
I don't know what we got there.
I like that. Okay. Instead of Trump always chickens out, which was the original hedge funder.
Yeah, I think there's a difference here. This is what I think is going on today. We'll see how we mark this day when we look back. But there have been more U.S. administrative people at Davos than there have ever been before. This is a tipping point on globalization. If you look at such different speakers as Howard Lutkin and the Canada Prime Minister, Mark Carney, basically saying, let's look at reality. Globalization's not going to continue. How do we move? And in my instance, how do we invest going forward given that?
Look at the transports up 3%.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Up 3%.
Yeah.
That's Mark Carney, who, from Canada, the Prime Minister, came out and said, no go, we are not going to support this move. And on top of it, you had the European Union saying that they would not adhere, that was this morning, they would not adhere to the original deal that President Trump had struck when it came to tariffs. But that, of course, came after he said he would impose new tariffs. So again, a lot of oscillation.
Just what I was referring to with Carney is his saying we have to face the reality that globalization, the old system, is not going to be around anymore.
And that reality is that he said Canada will double its defense spending.
Exactly.
You are saying go with defense names, but not necessarily American defense.
Not necessarily American, Canadian, European, those that are related. Now, look, the Europeans were playing a little bit of a game for a while and had this thing called non-lethal defense spending. Go figure that one. But I think that's changing. We're very positive and have been very positive on the defense industry in the United States, but outside of the United States specifically.
Well, the European names, Rolls-Royce, Rheinmetall.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that here on the show for, I believe, since late last year, and they have been on an incredible run. So you're looking at that point of view, but you also say, look at the financials. So I did. I looked at financials this morning, and it wasn't necessarily the J.P. Morgans and the Goldmans spiking. It was other names like M&T Bank, KeyCorp, Truist Financial, major gains from 2.5% to 3.75%. Which part of financials do you like?
Well, part of that is you want to be where they're going to benefit from the steepening yield curve, right? And so you want to be in the banks that are actually loaning money. And most of your listeners probably know this, but the big banks don't loan money anymore, right? They're on fees. So that's why these banks are performing now in a different way.
Folks, I'm looking at another headline that is crossing. Emergency EU Leaders Summit will go ahead as planned tomorrow, even though President Trump has put out on Truth Social that there is a framework that has been met. Keep in mind that there have been past situations where he said a framework deal on tariffs have been met with certain countries, and then it was months and months. I'm thinking India, I'm thinking of the UK, although they finally got a deal with the UK. So it can take a while here.
It can take a while, but I think the pressure's off on that. I think the real big issue was tariffs, not a military action in Greenland. It's really curious to me. There's two other bits of news, of course, at the Supreme Court. It looks like the Supreme Court will rule in favor of keeping Federal Reserve Chairman. And it also, we haven't heard from the Supreme Court on tariffs, but it's curious that Trump would make that comment on tariffs at the same time the Supreme
Federal Reserve Lisa Cook.
Yes,
Vice Chair.
Thank you. And then the separate issue is really tariffs, which could have been ruled even today. And that's the power that Trump was using for the Greenland tariffs.
Stephen Dover, good to see you. And thank you for rolling with the punches, which keep coming. And again, I'm just keeping an eye on the wires, folks, because we are seeing lots of this. And President Trump is basically saying now that the outline of a Greenland deal is, quote, everything he wanted, everything we wanted. Says it looks like we have a concept of a deal. So as maybe, we should be putting these up so that people can understand. And yet we're off the highs of the session, though. Still a meaty move here. The Dow Jones Industrial's up 706 points.